love the world and remain where they are. They don't have to do anything special to show it. The world is, after all, an intangible entity. It is something abstract. It is not a clear representation. But when you say that you love your neighbor, the problem starts. You have to see his face every day. You have to do something tangible to prove your love for him. Then it becomes a problem. And how can you feel great in not doing any harm to any ant? Is the ant capable of violating your property or person? Is it capable of testing your love for it? It is not even visible to the eye, and you talk to me about it. It sounds ridiculous, is it not? Claiming that you don't think of harming even an ant. These are all ways to escape from the truth. Just try to understand one thing. Your inherent nature is love. Love is permanent. All other emotions simply come and go, that's all. You are caught in thinking that all the other emotions are real and that they are destroying love. Love can never be destroyed. If love could be destroyed, it would have become extinct long ago. Also, when you really love, the opposite emotions cannot enter into you. They will simply be excluded. When there is a bright light in a room, can darkness be brought in? No. Only when you dim the lights, darkness can enter. In the same fashion, only when real love has not happened in you, the other emotions can take over. When you are brimming with love, there is no other emotion that can enter. And this chakra, the Anahata chakra, is supposed to make you brim with love because it is overflowing, energizing, loving energy. You might have experienced, when you do anything intensely, you will forget yourself. You might have experienced this many times in your lives. It can be anything that you do. It can be as simple as coloring or painting or reading or anything. When you go deep into it, you forget yourself. When you have an intense headache, just try doing something interesting very deeply. Your headache will go away. You see, because you are continuously aware of your head, your headache continues to bother you. The moment you go deep into something else and lose awareness of your head, your headache will simply disappear. Only when you remember your head, you can have a headache. When you go deeply into any emotion, only that emotion remains and you cease to exist. This is what we mean by totality. This moment of you disappearing, you may experience for just a few seconds. But if you work on being intense and total in everything, this experience of you disappearing will happen more often to you and for longer periods also. Soon you will master the art of doing work intensely and just being absent. You can then turn off and on at your will. You become independent of the work that goes on outside. In the same way, when you are brimming with love, you don't feel yourself. You feel only love. You become love. When you become love, you automatically exude compassion towards everyone and everything around you. You take up a lot more responsibility around you. This responsibility is not out of ego of serving people, but out of the overflowing energy which is in you. Love and responsibility always go hand in hand. When you truly love, you will take up total responsibility as well. People think that sannyasis are those who run away from responsibility. Let me tell you, when you forego responsibility towards your own family, you are taking responsibility for a much bigger family, for humanity at large, a family which is millions of times bigger than your own. People don't understand this and they criticize. The more responsibility you take up, the more you expand. Responsibility is something that can be easily shrugged. But if you don't shrug it and keep on shouldering it, you will expand and the divine energy will automatically flow in you. And you can take up more and more responsibility only when you feel overflowing energy in you. I always tell my healers in the healers meet, take up as much responsibility for the suffering and pain around you and heal the people. When you feel that you are responsible for the pain around you, you will automatically stand up to help reduce it in some way or the other. People often think that it is enough if they do things for their own family. This is a way of contraction, not a way of expansion. You need to expand for growth to happen. You will radiate energy when you stand up with responsibility. Existence will automatically flow through you when you take up responsibility. People say, Swamiji, is it enough if I am able to feed my family properly? I tell you, this is just an excuse to draw a tight boundary around yourself, a way to contract yourself. You must have heard of the famous lines of Bodhidharma. Buddham sharanam gacchami, dhammam sharanam gacchami, sangam sharanam gacchami. It means, I surrender to Buddha, I surrender to Dhamma, the preaching of Buddha. I surrender to the Sangha or institution created by Buddha. It is very easy to surrender to Buddha or any master. You don't have to do much for it. Masters are so luring by virtue of their divinity that it doesn't take much time from your side to do this. People tell me that the moment they see me, they feel a certain belief and faith in me. I tell you, this is not a big deal. The existential energy in me pulls you. That's all. Let's take the next statement. I surrender to the preaching of Buddha. This is a little more difficult than the first, because the moment you say this, you have to show that you are following it. For example, I say to you, be blissful. That is my teaching. What do you do then? No, Swamiji, it is not practical. Be very clear. I say only practical things. You start thinking that I am enlightened and that I don't know anything about your so-called practical life. No, you are absolutely wrong. I say only those things that can become a part of your day-to-day life. I am sharing my experience with you when I say be blissful. I am not preaching the words. Understand that first. I am not just preaching the words. When I say be blissful, I am drawing you to experience the bliss that I am in. And it is perfectly practical because I am alive here in front of you. The third line says, I surrender to the institution created by Buddha. Here starts the real problem. This requires a tremendous responsibility to be taken upon oneself. Understand, masters live in their mission more than in their body. Only 33% of their energy is in their body. The remaining 66% is in their mission and teaching. That is the kind of responsibility they live with. I always tell people, I get my energy from my movement, not from the food that I eat. Masters never take up birth to fulfill any karmas or unfulfilled desires in them, because they don't have any karma to be fulfilled. They take birth out of sheer compassion, sheer love, to kindle the spirit of the people. The longevity of a master